From San Diego, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. It's the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers. The Broncos handed New England their first loss last week. They put themselves in now the chase for the home field with 5 games to go and a 5th consecutive AFC West title. All now within reach. Happy holidays, everyone, along with former NFL MVP Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Welcome to Southern California, where it's about 70 degrees, a perfect day. Set up this one for us, the Chargers and the Broncos.
Well, Kevin, after their win last week, the Broncos have now put themselves in a position to have a chance to compete for home field advantage in the AFC. And, of course, San Diego's had a very difficult season. They went 6 straight games without a win until they won last week against Jacksonville. This is an important game for them from the standpoint they need to finish strong in the month of December.
For the Bronco offense, replacing the injured quarterback Peyton Manning is 4th-year pro Brock Osweiler, making his 3rd career start.
Yeah, I've really been impressed. I think he's shown great confidence and composure in his first 2 starts. And the team's really playing well around him. I mean, you can see he's prepared and that he's got a strong arm and good command of the offense. He can make all the throws. Look at that throw last week against Marius Thomas, another to Emmanuel Sanders late in the game, and finally, terrific touch to Andre Caldwell for the touchdown. He's off to a really good start.
This has not been the season the San Diego Chargers envisioned, but their quarterback, Phillip Rivers, has been absolutely sensational.
It's really amazing when you think about what this guy has meant to this organization, Kevin, over a long period of time. He's the reason they've been competitive, and he gives them a chance to win each time out, but he needs some help. Help from the running game, and their defense would be a good place to start.
Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The Chargers won the toss. They have deferred, so the Broncos will receive as you take a look at Omar Bolden. That's Josh Lambeau, who will be kicking off. He is a rookie, free agent out of Texas A&M. Broncos, Chargers, 55 years of matchups, and away we go. As Bolden is finally tripped up that time by Wilson on the special teams for the San Diego Chargers on a return of 33. The quarterback, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, and as Gary Kubiak told us last night, Kevin, he's come up the old-fashioned way. He got a chance to really watch and learn behind a master in Peyton Manning, and I think he's developed some good habits along the way.
This is the number 21 offense of Denver, 17 in the rankings and running the ball, 18 in passing, 1st and 10. With a fake to Hillman. Osweiler, a little bit high on the deflection. They were looking for Emmanuel Sanders, and he had all kinds of traffic around him, incomplete. Let's take a look at the line. Rookie Max Garcia replaces Luis Vasquez, who is injured but active today. And running back C.J. Anderson is the reigning AFC Offensive Player of the Week after his game-winning touchdown in overtime against the Patriots. Here is a 2nd down and 10. Denver's defense, number 24. He goes to Vernon Davis. Teo is following him out of bounds with some blocking ahead. The catch for Davis. He's got his 11th with the Broncos and his 29th of the year. Well, the Charger defense on the line. Ricardo Matthews makes his 4th start of the season for the injured Sean Lismore. Rookie linebacker Denzel Perryman starts for Donald Butler. 3rd consecutive start for the rookie Perryman out of Miami. And in the secondary, the veteran Eric Weddle. He has the radio communication in his helmet. Former All-Pro. There he is with a 1st and 10. Hillman in the secondary. The aforementioned Weddle brings him down near midfield. Gain of 10. That is another Denver 1st down.
Well, they love this stretch play, and they love the fact that these running backs are very disciplined. They take one cut and they hit it downhill, and they've got Ronnie Hillman, who's probably got a little bit better speed and quickness to the hole, and of course they bring in C.J. Anderson, who's a little bit more power and strength back.
Hey, game! Hey, we're good. Leave it on, leave it on, leave it on. Hey, we're good. Game! Omaha! Set!
1st and 10. Hillman. And grabbed by Perriman as he took it by midfield. He's down to the 48, picks up a gain of 2. And the third member of our crew this afternoon is Scott Kaplan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kevin. Peyton Manning did not make this trip with the Denver Broncos. We spoke to Gary Kubiak yesterday. He said that on Friday, the team removed the boot protecting his foot. And by this week, by Wednesday, he expects to accelerate the plan to getting Peyton back onto the field, Kevin.
Peyton back in Denver watching. Thank you, Scott. With a look at Gary Kubiak. 2nd down and 7. This is Anderson. Oh, busting free, and he gets a block from Demaryius Thomas. And finally pushed down in the secondary by Patrick Robinson. A terrific move and a gain of 22 for number 22.
Well, you got to be able to tackle these guys. And, Kevin, this is a defense that has had a tackling problem all season long. Big reason why they're giving up 6.3 yards a play, second most in the league this year. And again, guys not tackling when they have the opportunity in the hole.
Melvin Ingram had a good shot at him. Could not bring him down. Anderson in, 1st and 10. Anderson here. Into a pile. That time Ingram got a hold on him. Right inside the 25-yard line. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Well, you look at since Brock Osweiler's taken over, this team has run the ball a whole lot better. Their 2 best rushing performances of the season the last 2 weeks. 170 against Chicago, 179 a season high against the Patriots. The production has improved significantly since the bye.
Hillman is in right now. 2nd down, long 9. With a couple of tight ends in there for Osweiler. That's caught. That's Demaryius Thomas coming off a poor game, but he catches right there, takes it to the 4. Wrapped up on the play by a bunch, including a die in the secondary. Gain of 20, 1st and goal, Denver.
Well, this is a very difficult route to cover because he's going to go up and head to the corner. Then he puts his foot right back in the ground, and he comes back to the quarterback. So the corner thinks he's heading to the end zone, but yet he puts his foot in the ground and creates some separation at the top of the route. Really nice route there by Demaryius Thomas.
Building his confidence. You're right. Here's Hillman in the backfield with the 1st and goal. Fake and caught. Demaryius Thomas working in the secondary on the rookie Verrett. 3-yard touchdown pass. What a drive as the Broncos in their first possession, led by Osweiler, buzz right through the defense of San Diego.
Well, the play action, I mean, it's amazing. Look at the freeze and the hold it gets on the linebackers. They step up, they see Hillman in there, and no one bothers to cover Demaryius Thomas right in the back of the end zone. What a perfect start for the Broncos on the road.
That is the 2nd opening game touchdown of the season on their first drive, with the extra point right there put in by McManus. Both orchestrated by Osweiler. The big play, Anderson with a 22-yard run and then a 3-yard touchdown pass to Thomas. 25-year-old Brock Osweiler with his 5th touchdown pass of the season. How about Demaryius Thomas? 2 big catches on that drive, including the TD, coming off his worst pro game. Had 3 drops against New England on Sunday night. The ensuing kickoff, and Javonte Herndon will let it bounce out. It'll be a touchback. They will go to the 20-yard line, led by quarterback Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he's played some of his best football, Kevin, late in the year. 34-9 in the regular season. The games played in December and January. He really does it all. I mean, he's special. They'd be in big trouble without him. He's kind of the air traffic controller out there. He'll make all the calls with the protection. He gets everybody lined up, and he sits in there with a tough jaw and makes a difficult throw.
What's intriguing about this San Diego offense is number 6, the Denver Bronco defense number 1. And here comes Rivers at the very top of his game, number 1 in completions, number 1 in attempts, highest percentage in the league, 5th in touchdown passes. From the pistol, it's Woodhead on 1st and 10 with a block by the receiver Inman and a catch and run of almost 10 on the play, let out of bounds by Bradley Roby. On the line, Chris Ariston drew praise from Rivers for his job in replacing the injured King Dunlap at that left tackle position. And tight end Antonio Gates, someday he'll be enshrined, caught 2 touchdown passes last week in Jacksonville.
We're interested to see them jump the ball now. It's difficult for Denver, obviously, to make those substitutions and dial up all those pressures against this San Diego offense.
Ariston's in. There go the whistles and flags. Walt Coleman is our referee.
Full start, number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the fourth-year center Trevor Robinson. He's taken the place of Chris Watt since week 4 as the starter.
Well, this offensive line has to play well to have a chance. I mean, Rivers lacks the mobility. He's a pure pocket passer. This defense does a terrific job affecting the pockets. Why they lead the league in sacks.
2 starters out on that offensive line today for San Diego. First down and 15 back at the 25. Rivers, and he's got his tight end with a good-looking catch, and then the encore of defenders right there. Marshall, that's Phillips who makes the grab and picks up 8. Injuries facing this defense, so changes now on the line. Vance Walker replaces the injured Sylvester Williams. Williams has a high ankle sprain, missing his first game of the year. Shaq Barrett replaces the injured DeMarcus Ware, 4th consecutive miss for Ware. David Bruton replaces the injured T.J. Ward in the secondary. He also has that high ankle sprain. Second down and 7 to the gain of 8. And they got Gates. Incomplete because of the hit by the missile in the secondary. Darian Stewart, what a hit. And Gates coughs it up incomplete. Good hit.
Yeah, you talk about matchups. This is the one they want. Antonio Gates on Shaq Barrett. Good hit there at the end to knock the ball loose. But that's, you better have a plan for how you're going to handle Antonio Gates in this one.
This is the number 1 pass defense boasted by the Broncos in the NFL. 3rd down and 7. Barksdale with the block at the right tackle, and on the cross they have Gates with a first down. Brought down by Aqib Talib. It's a gain of 8. They'll move the chains on San Diego's first possession this afternoon.
And I really think the key for the Chargers, they have to win inside with their tight ends and running backs. And, of course, the slot receiver against Denver's linebackers and safeties. That's the best matchup that they have. Their matchups outside aren't as good against Aqib Talib and Chris Harris.
Rivers, who in the last 4 games has thrown 8 touchdown passes and 1 interception. Pistol, 1st and 10, Melvin Gordon, the rookie out of Wisconsin. And from behind, he was brought down and hit Lorente McCray, gain of 5. It's out just beyond the 45.
I really like this back, Melvin Gordon. The problem is he's averaging just under 13 carries a game, and that's not enough. I mean, here's a running back who averaged an FBS record 7.8 a carry at Wisconsin. I think what he's finding out is these holes open up and close a whole lot quicker in the NFL.
4 in the secondary for Denver, 2nd and a long 5. A lot of congestion for Rivers and across the middle, and he was looking for Woodhead, and the coverage on the play by McCray. 3rd and a long 5.
I think Philip Rivers is maybe the best pocket passer when it's all congested. I mean, no one's better at throwing out of a phone booth than Philip Rivers. And it's like that every week for him. He's got great courage to stand in there, and that's not easy. Just never seems like it's a clean pocket for Philip Rivers.
The problem with that Charger offense, number 30 in rushing, number 2 in passing because of Rivers. 3rd and a long 5 here. Looking into the Bronco nickel. Another cross. Grabbed by Inman. They call it incomplete, even though Aqib Talib will go the other way. They blow it dead. Incomplete pass. Could not hold on. And that was right in the hands and a punting situation for San Diego.
Well, really nice hit by the safety, Darian Stewart. He puts his helmet right on the football, and Inman has no chance.
So that's 2 now. That big hitting in the secondary, authored by Stewart. 1 on Gates, 1 right there on the crossing Inman. Cypress has got a punt for the Chargers on their first possession. Bolden. He'll let it bounce. Great hang time, 2 of over 4-5. 7 plays and punt. Another look at Osweiler. He's already thrown a 3-yard touchdown pass today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. The gift she'll treasure forever. And by Dodge. Come discover great deals during Dodge Performance Days.
Yeah, La Jolla there in the background. The Pacific across the way on a gorgeous day in Southern California. Here is a second possession. Osweiler 1st and 10 after the 7-play punt San Diego possession going deep. And a little bit too long for his intended receiver downfield, the fleet-footed Emmanuel Sanders.
Well, good start for the Broncos. Good balance. 4 runs, 4 passes. C.J. Anderson gets it started with this good run and a good finish at the end as he lowers the boom. And, of course, 21-yard completion to Demaryius Thomas. They finish it off with this toss to Thomas to go up 7-0. This is a team that hasn't started well early in games, just scored 26 first-quarter points, the second fewest this season.
Kubiak calls the plays, as he's always done. Head coach at Houston last year in Baltimore as the offensive coordinator. Second down, 10, Hillman. Look at him dance around Ingram. Osweiler looks like he may block, as does Lattimore. And then he is upended by Jaleel Adai in the secondary. It is a gain of 3 with all that running out to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, you know, San Diego may have to bring 7 and 8 men down in the box early to stop the run. I mean, you cannot let Hillman and C.J. Anderson get going. You got to turn this into a one-dimensional game. Make Brock Osweiler, Kevin, throw the ball 40 times to beat you.
What do you always say about a good running game for a quarterback?
Well, it's his best friend. And that's what's really helped Brock over the last 2 games.
Yep. 2 straight 100-yard rushing games. Hillman 102 at Chicago. Anderson 113 last week in Denver against the New England Patriots. 3rd and 7, 5 in the secondary. Osweiler. He's got Thomas. And he takes it with a run after a catch, 25 yards on the play, up to the 42. Brought down by Adai with a penalty flag thrown on the play.
Pass interference, number 88, offense. That's the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
Wipes out a 25-yard completion.
Well, you talked about the slow start last week. I don't know, Kevin. A little bit of a hand check there. Not a big deal, but it gets called. You mentioned Demaryius Thomas. Kind of a rough start. Hasn't played as well without Peyton. Just 3 catches versus the Bears and 1 last Monday night versus the Patriots. Had a couple of drops. He felt bad about it. Actually apologized for his performance. As I always say, you need to get these guys going early. You're getting some touches.
Really needs over 60 yards for another 1,000-yard receiving season. Anderson on 3rd and 15. Wrapped up on the play. Atachu on the outside linebacker brings him down. Gain of 6. 4th down, and Denver sends out their punting unit.
You know, I just remember playing with some great receivers, and Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, and they'd always say to me, I need to get a couple touches early in the game. I need to find my rhythm in the passing game. That's why we always made sure that in our first 20 we had throws in the direction of both Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. It's important to get these guys in a groove early.
Britton Colquitt will punt. Javonte Herndon is back for San Diego at about the 40. Herndon from the 45, wrapped up and brought down. What a nice special teams play by Kayvon Webster. Short hang time, 40-yard punt. Timeout. Thursday night football only on NFL Network. The Vikings take on the Cardinals in a huge showdown between 2 of the NFL's best. Thursday night football, Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network. Broncos have had it twice. 3-yard touchdown pass and 3-and-out moments ago. Second possession for the Chargers, Rich, who had 7 plays punt their first possession with a 1st and 10 from their 49. You don't see Rivers under center much, but here he goes and a handoff to Gordon with a 1st and 10. And then brought down as he creeps into Denver territory. It's a gain of 3 on the play. Boy, this Denver team on the road has been spectacular of late.
How about that? 14 consecutive road wins. I always say it's hard to win in this business. It's even more difficult to do it on the road, but it's really tough when it happens to be on the road in the division. And these guys have been outstanding.
And overall in the division, 25-5 the last 5 seasons for Denver. 2nd down, 7, San Diego. Look out. They jump on him at the 45-yard line. With a sack right there, who else? Von Miller, 8th of the season. He's got a sack now in 4 consecutive games. It's a loss of 7 back to the 45.
Well, he's a handful. I mean, You cannot let this guy take over a game. And if you're Phillip Rivers, you know you have to step up inside, and you can't afford that second and third hitch. That's going to get you every time against a pass rusher like Von Miller.
Works right around Hairston and takes it in. 3rd and 14 now for the quarterback, with 5 in the secondary for Denver. Good looking catch. He's got the first down with the tackle made by Brandon Marshall. The grab made by the angular Dontrell Inman. It's a gain of 15 yards to the 40-yard line of Denver with a player down. And it is the ball catcher, Inman, out of UVA, replacing the injured Keenan Allen.
Ever since I can remember, whether it was I was in Kansas City or Oakland competing against the Chargers, they always had taller receivers, Kevin. You know, I mean, I think Phillip Rivers likes the guys that can go up and get it. You mentioned Inman. He's 6'3". You've got, obviously, Malcolm Floyd is 6'5". Stevie Johnson's a 6'3" guy.
David Bruton with a wicked hit. There's an injury timeout and 4:50 in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by In the Heart of the Sea, in theaters December 11th. And by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before.
In the midst of an injury timeout, down is second-year wide receiver Dontrell Inman for the San Diego Chargers, who just leapt and caught a 15-yard first-down producing pass from Rivers, but he was hit hard on the play. Bruton got him last as he was held down by Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, I never saw it coming, really. He's trying to concentrate, make the catch, reach, stretch for the first down. Never feels Bruton come in and land a big blow to the right side of his head.
Stretcher is on the field. You see the electric card out there as well. And whenever you see this, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is a concussion. And here is the protocol followed by everyone in the NFL.
Yeah, and obviously the league has gone to great measures to make sure that they're doing the right thing. And, of course, the player's going to be taken from the field. You've got a unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, and the player will be examined in the locker room or on the sidelines. Players diagnosed with concussion. There's no same-day return to play. And if the player passes an exam, he'll be monitored for symptoms throughout the game. But even on Friday, Kevin, the league went out of their way to have a health and safety meeting of all players at 12 Eastern on Friday. Some of our meetings were pushed back as a result of it, but they're doing everything they can to make sure that players are informed, doing everything they can to promote player safety. Almost 50% of the rule changes over the last decade have been in the area of promoting player safety, taking the helmet out of the game, hits on defenseless players. So certainly we hope that Dontrell Inman is okay, but they go to great measures to make sure that they follow all the safety protocol to make sure that the player is well taken care of.
And the Chargers, who are coming in as healthy as they've been in a while, and they have been hit by injuries. Seems like all these teams, though, it's a war of attrition as the season goes on. On our sideline is Scott Kaplan.
Kevin, when Inman went down, he was still holding the ball in his right hand, and he really laid there motionless for quite a while until the trainers finally got to him. And then as we were at commercial break, surprised to see, but now we can tell why, they brought out the golf cart, and they also brought out the stretcher. And this may go a little bit beyond concussion simply because we're watching the way they're being so careful with getting Inman onto the stretcher. On a football note, this does not leave San Diego, which has a very depleted wide receiver core with very much left.
Javante Herndon, obviously, would be one player they could put in there. They have lost, we talked about before, Keenan Allen. He was a top receiver with this team, and Inman was taking his place. And they want the players to get cleared as you take a look at Mike McCoy. And certainly with a season like this at 3-8, winning last week, but having lost the previous 6 games, this has not been the season he thought they would have. And certainly with a quarterback like Rivers. And they are, I think, repositioning the cart to put him on the stretcher and onto the back of the cart.
Really surprised there was no helmet-to-helmet call there, Kevin. He hit him right in the temple with his helmet. And that's essentially a defenseless player. But as a player who has had a neck injury, his career was ended by a neck injury.
Well, you broke your neck.
I know they go to great lengths. That's when they stabilize that neck to make sure. And again, it could be precautionary just to make sure they get him to a facility where they can do an MRI to make sure that that he's okay.
Every stadium has extensive medical facilities. There's Joe Mays, who was a former Bronco actually over there with his teammate. And prayers, obviously, and thoughts from his team. As they will take him off, they will examine him, and he will, in all likelihood, leave the stadium and go have further diagnosis. And when the down player, Dontrell Inman, out of the University of Virginia, a second-year player who just caught a pass for 15 yards and a first down, and some very smart hitting that time by the Bronco defense. Smart, in fact, it was Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, and then David Bruton, who is taking the place of the injured T.J. Ward today in the secondary.
And that can really shake you up. I mean, to see your teammate get carted off the field, and you just, again, injuries are a part of it. You have to do the best you can to certainly kind of put it behind you and stay in the moment, but certainly it's unsettling to see one of your players take that type of hit.
Broncos have brought in an extra defensive back, so they have 6 back there right now as we take a look at Inman. And like we said, we will chase that story and try to get word to you as soon as we receive word. So as they gather themselves here is a 1st and 10. Woodhead becomes a receiver atop your screen. They'll often put him out there with Gordon in the backfield in a 1st and 10 for San Diego. 3-yard touchdown pass. Osweiler to Thomas. The game's only score so far here late in the first. And Rivers on a cross. Green, the tight end, chased out of bounds by the linebacker, Brandon Marshall. That's a way, certainly, that New England was going at this pass defense, sending out running backs and tight ends at the Bronco linebackers last week. Gain of 16 and a first down.
Well, you got to deal with these tight ends, and if it's not Antonio Gates, it's obviously going to be Green, and he's really good as well. I mean, he's got some length to him. He catches the ball well, and he's got better speed than you think.
So Ladarius Green takes the ball down just inside the 25 of Denver to the 24 with a 1st and 10. Rivers to the end zone, looking for some separation, was Green, covered on the play by Omar Bolden with an incompletion and no yellow on the field.
I think you spend so much of your time worrying about Antonio Gates that sometimes you forget about Ladarius Green. Phillip Rivers loves working those tight ends in this part of the field.
We saw Brady, like I said, do that last week on Sunday night. Rivers has already completed 5 passes to 5 different receivers in this game. 2 tight ends now, including David Johnson. 2nd down and 10. 4 in the secondary. Gordon. Nice defensive play coming through. Shaq Barrett. He's taking the place of the injured DeMarcus Ware today at that outside linebacker. It is a loss of 6, back to the 30.
That's a really good defense. Wade Phillips has done a terrific job, Kevin. They lead the league in nearly every significant defensive category. 1st overall in defense, 1st against the run, 2nd against the pass. They lead the league in sacks. They're 4th in scoring. Everywhere Wade has been, especially in his first season on the job, you've seen dramatic improvement from those units.
He was here in San Diego, too. They've been ranked number 1 in defense 10 of the last 12 weeks. 3rd and 16 for Rivers. 6 defensive backs for Denver. Rivers hit as he threw, looking for Woodhead with the coverage on the play by David Bruton Jr. Again, a crowded pocket. And the field goal unit will take the mark now for the Chargers, and they'll try to get themselves on the board late in the first, down 7-0 on an Osweiler touchdown pass of 3 yards.
That's what I love about Phillip Rivers. He doesn't wait until Monday, until you get into the team meeting room to make the correction. He's going to make the correction as soon as he sees it on the field. I mean, he knows you can't hold it. It's going to be at least a 5-man rush. Somebody's got to win against man-to-man coverage. Look at Rivers. He's out there making the correction on Herndon.
Good play by Malik Jackson right in his grill. Here is a 48-yard field goal try by Josh Lambo, and it is no good. He was 19 of 21 before that one right there. Rivers comes up empty-handed. 3:07 in the first. Aerial coverage of today's game in San Diego is provided by MetLife, the former Jack Murphy Stadium. Jack Murphy was a sports writer, longtime sports writer here in San Diego. The life of a kicker. Lambo just missed a 48-yard field goal. Here's Osweiler. Incomplete, looking for Daniels. There's a player down. That is Flowers with a die, making a hit. But Brandon Flowers. Is that Flowers? Yes. He is in pain.
We're going to see a pretty good collision here. So he gets hit right in that left knee. Just couldn't get out of the way quick enough. So if you got a big tight end coming at you.
Another injury timeout and 3:01 to play here in the first quarter in San Diego on CBS. We have our second Charger injured here in the last couple minutes with another golf cart appearance on the field, which is never good. This is Brandon Flowers, who is downfield defending the target, tight end Owen Daniels for quarterback Brock Osweiler. You've seen.
He just gets caught in kind of an awkward position. He's looking at the ball, then he looks back inside. He sees Owen Daniels. He gets knocked right into him, and he's not able to get that left leg out of the way. If you see, he's trying to adjust.
The good news is he just got on his feet on his own accord and propped himself up on that cart. Scott Kaplan is our sideline reporter this afternoon.
Kevin, they're working on the left knee. You can see right behind me. Obviously, they've got him on a cart now. Brandon Flowers, he's dealt with knee injuries as the year has gone on, and he's missed some time. So left knee is what they're looking at for Brandon Flowers. As for Dontrell Inman, I walked up the tunnel with the training staff of the Chargers. Very, very slow with that golf cart, and then they had to maneuver it and K-turn it as they were trying to get the young man Dontrell Inman into x-rays. So he wasn't moving. They had his arms crossed. They had his head taped down, and they were taking him immediately right into x-rays, Kevin.
Thank you, Scott. And again, we'll try to update that story throughout the afternoon. Here's a 2nd down and 10. 3-yard touchdown pass by Osweiler to start things off. And taking the place of the injured Flowers will be defensive back Patrick Robinson, who's out there with Weddle and a die, and Verrett. 2nd down and 10. Hillman is the back. Here comes Reyes, who may have gotten a hand on the ball with the wobbly pass. Incomplete downfield for Sanders. With the coverage on the play by Robinson. They were going for wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. 3rd and 10.
Well, this is good looking. I mean, you're going to sell the boot action, and the receiver's going to start over the field and then work all the way back. So you have plays that look the same, but yet that turn out different. And he has them. He just can't. He doesn't have enough arm strength as he's moving to his left to make that throw.
5 defensive backs for San Diego. Hillman is in the backfield. It's a 3rd and 10.
This is an area where they have struggled this season to convert in just 33%, which is just 28th.
Denver's going to use their 2nd timeout. Denver dealing with their own success, now 9-2. They've won 2 straight after losing 2 in a row. They're 5-1 on the road, beginning the season 7-0. And obviously trying to avoid any kind of letdown, Rich, after that emotional win at home last week against the previously undefeated Patriots.
And San Diego would like nothing more than to knock off the top-seeded Broncos in their division. And this is a team we talked about in the open, Kevin. They're just they're looking for something positive. They want to finish strong here in the month of December.
NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today and save 20% at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com.
Well, these are the situations you want to keep a young quarterback out of, these 3rd and longs. They had a 3rd and 15 and now a 3rd and 10.
Still the nickel. Make it the dime. They've got 6 in the secondary for San Diego. 3rd and 10. Sanders in the backfield. They crowd the pocket. Sanders has the ball, but shy of the 1st down. The big hit initially by Weddle. The former All-Pro to the 46-yard line. A gain of 9 on 3rd and 10, 4th and 1. And the Bronco punting unit will take the field.
And it's really important for the San Diego defense to disguise their intentions. Make Brock Osweiler make as many post-snap reads as possible. Remember, this is just his 3rd start. Don't make it easy for him before the snap.
2nd consecutive 3-and-out for the Denver offense. Herndon back for the Britton Colquitt punt. Wind in the face of the Denver punter. He's already signaled for the fair catch, which he retrieves at the 7. And so inside the 10 will be Rivers, 44-yard punt. Boy, this combination of Phillip Rivers and his terrific tight end Antonio Gates, one for the ages.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. San Diego's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown receptions. I mean, 103 touchdowns between these two guys. It's pretty amazing. And Phillip Rivers just has a great confidence, a great rapport with Antonio Gates. He knows where he's going to be, and the thing about Gates, he never fools the quarterback, and that's really important as a quarterback, to be able to trust that he's going to do the right thing in a critical situation.
You know, they're going to be like on the same page in their reads, right?
Absolutely.
In terms of stemming around.
And that's really important for a guy like Phillip Rivers, who does such a great job with his anticipation on throws.
It's Melvin Gordon, who has the most touches in the NFL without a score, wrapped up by a handful, including Bruton, who came from the secondary, and a gain of 6 for the Wisconsin rookie. He was also the Doak Walker winner from Madison at the University of Wisconsin, the top running back in college football a season ago. So the San Diego team, 3-8, won last week, had lost the previous 6. They began 2-2. 2nd and 4. Gordon again. Well, Wolf is there. You see all the guys that have a hand on that one. No gain on the play. They stop him right at the 15 after the gain of 6 on the previous play.
Well, I really think it's important for the Chargers to be able to run the football against this Denver defense. Now, remember, the #1 pass defense, they lead the league in sacks, and you need to take the edge off of that pass rush some by running the ball right at them. And it can't be a one-dimensional unit. And again, this is not an easy defense to run against, Kevin. They're the second best rushing defense in football.
This is the number 5 third down offense. They've got it 3rd down and 4. Woodhead. Rivers got him. Gates, first down. He was hit by Bruton, grabbed initially by Bolden. A gain of 9 on 3rd and 4. Spot him at the San Diego 24.
Well, Bruton's going to have a busy day. Antonio Gates is going to work over, and then he just makes a nice little move at the top. He lulls you to sleep thinking he's going to work the crossing route. You've seen that a bunch from them early in the first quarter. Now he works back out on the option route.
Gates has a couple of receptions, both on 3rd down. How about this Denver defense facing the top 2 passing games in back-to-back weeks? Wow. 1st and 10. Gordon back in. Rivers in congestion. Intercepted. Picked off on the play. Danny Trevathan to the house. It's the 5th pick 6 thrown by Rivers this season. Trevathan.
Well, he just can't do that. Kevin, you mentioned the 5th pick 6, which is a league high. It's also the 5th defensive touchdown for this Denver defense, which is a league high. He just gets squeezed, and you can't make this decision. He never feels Trevathan there. It's man-to-man coverage. He's the spy. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback the whole way. We talk about throwing from the pocket. You just got to throw the ball away in this situation.
And we just mentioned that Rivers had only thrown 1 interception over 160 passes. The extra point is through. The 25-yard interception return by Danny Trevathan. He's out of Kentucky. And he takes it to the house. Pick 6 thrown by quarterback Phillip Rivers, but you can just see the players in his grill every time he drops back.
Yes, it's good coverage, and he just is trying to force this one into Gates. Gates not even looking for the ball. Trevathan's reading the eyes of Phillip Rivers the whole way, and that's just a combination of good pass rush and good coverage on the back end. Look at how they squeeze the pocket around Phillip Rivers.
Well, they got Malik Jackson on him again. And David Bruton did a good job on the cross there, covering, defending Antonio Gates.
Yeah, they've seen that route a bunch already in this game, and you got to keep rolling that defensive line through there, Kevin. They're going to throw the ball a bunch in this game. Rivers is averaging 42 throws again. You mentioned last week the Patriots didn't even try and run the football against this Denver defense.
McManus with the kickoff. Herndon from the goal line. into a pile, and Todd Davis and others jumping on his back. 24-yard return. Here he comes again. Rivers with another try. End of the first quarter in San Diego. Through 15 minutes of football here in San Diego. Here are some of the numbers. We've had 2 players carted off for the Chargers. One on defense, Brandon Flowers. The offensive starting receiver, Dontrell Inman. Moments ago, quarterback Phillip Rivers just threw a pick 6, and Trevathan, the linebacker, returned it 25 yards. Here's a 1st and 10 from the 24. Gordon into the middle. And Von Miller and company bringing him down. Also with a hand in it, Antonio Smith with a gain of 3. He's out to the 27.
Well, when push comes to shove, they're just going to put the ball in the hands of Phillip Rivers. I mean, it's what they've done all season. Very high percentage of pass, over 65%. They're not built to really run the ball with power right now. It's not their makeup. They don't have the tight ends that are very good blocking on the edge.
2nd down and 7. This is Gordon. We got a block on the play from Franklin, former Denver Bronco, and down he goes. Barrett was there. Trevathan was there with the stop. And the flag thrown by Walt Coleman's crew.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
2nd down and 7.
That's Wiggins who's making the start for DJ Fluker, who's still out with a concussion.
You know, Rich, I was looking at the Trevathan interception. That's just the 2nd interception in the last 6 games. Just the 2nd in the last 6 by Denver's defense. They had 9 picks in the first 6 games to start the year for Denver.
Well, you know, they've struggled a little bit taking the ball away, but the good news is they're not giving it away on offense. I mean, you know, just the 1 turnover the last 2 games with Osweiler, and it's win that turnover battle each week. You usually got a chance to win in this business.
Rivers is 6 of 12 going to the air here. With 2nd down and 17, and down he goes. Well, Barrett was there, Smith was there. Rivers found it suffocating. Kilgo even got in there. The rookie out of Maryland lost it too. 2nd sack.
Well, it's been a problem all day. The pocket. You know, we talk about throwing from a phone booth, and it's been really the story in this game. Whether it's internal pressure, whether it's perimeter pressure, forcing them to step up. And that's what the Broncos do great. They get push up inside. They've got speed off the edge, and they do a great job collapsing the pocket around the quarterback.
So now 2 sacks on Rivers. That's 7 sacks last 2+ games for this Denver offense. Here's a handoff to Woodhead on 3rd and 19. Needed the 34. Taken down inside the 25. And the hit on the play, among others, by Malik Jackson. Gain of 7. Punting unit takes the field again for San Diego.
Well, they've got to do something, Kevin. They're going to, before they know it hits them, they're going to be down 21-0 in this one. Defense has got to get a stop. Need a big play in the kicking game. Something has to help. Something has to happen to help this offense. It's really struggled.
Cypress with the punt. High and hanging. Bolden looks into that bright Southern California sun. Breaking a couple tackles on the way, and here he goes with a final hit made by the defense of San Diego. Atachu waylays him. 21-yard return early in the 2nd. 14-zip Denver. Be there for the most legendary party of the year. Carrie Underwood, Lady Gaga, Sam Smith, and many more celebrate the 100th birthday of the one and only Frank Sinatra. It's an all-star Grammy salute you don't want to miss tonight at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. 3-yard touchdown pass by quarterback Osweiler to Thomas. Handoff here to Hillman on 1st and 10 after the 4 and punt by the San Diego Chargers. There is a tackle by Melvin Graham on a gain of 2 to the 49-yard line.
Well, anytime you've got an inexperienced quarterback under center, you got to be able to run the ball more, and that's just what they've been able to do. They want to keep Brock Osweiler in manageable situations. Look at that, though. They're running the ball almost 11% more. And again, the last 2 weeks, 170 rushing yards against Chicago, 179 last week against the Patriots has really helped Osweiler.
And now Anderson, 2nd down and 8. And continues to pile drive his way with a gain of a couple on the play. Not a whole lot of room. Teo is over there. Osweiler says, I want to keep my focus small. And because of that, Rich, he has looked comfortable in the pocket for Denver.
Well, I think, he told us last night that he knew at some point his opportunity would come. He just never knew, but he might wanted to make sure he was ready. And I think that's the important thing, Kevin. You never know when your opportunity is going to present itself. You want to make sure you're prepared as a backup quarterback, and it certainly looks like he's been able to do that over the last couple of weeks.
3rd and 5, Anderson in the backfield. Blocked by Schofield. Going outside that time, looking for Fowler with an incompletion. And a flag.
Well, I was just getting ready to say it was pretty good coverage by the Chargers. I mean, as I looked at the field, like everyone was in man-to-man coverage. And
pass interference, number 23, defense. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
That's Steve Williams.
Well, I'm not surprised to see him go after Steve Williams. It's important when you get a guy like Brandon Flowers that leaves the game. You better go after his replacement. And just what the Broncos did in that situation, although it took Brock Osweiler a little while to get there.
Mike McCoy, he was in Denver as a offensive coordinator, 4 years with the Broncos. So 1st and 10, Osweiler is 4 of 8 for 49 yards. Each Anderson run for 4 and 32. Hellman 4 carries, 18. And this is Anderson. See some on the left side of that defense making the stop there on the line. Damian Square out of Alabama. It is a gain of 3 to the 37.
And the one thing that's really helped this Denver rushing attack is the fact that the quarterback's been playing from under center a whole lot more. And that makes such a difference. The running game is limited some when you're working predominantly from the shotgun. And I think with Osweiler, they've been having him under center a lot more. I think that's opened some things up in the running game.
5 defensive backs. 2nd down 7. Run here by Anderson. And he breaks a tackle and takes it into the secondary. Where he's finally brought down by Cordero Law on a gain of 7. Well, let me ask you why gain of 7 on the play. Why is it easier for a running back when the guy is under center as opposed to when he's in the gun or the pistol?
Well, I think it's easier for the offense as a whole. For example, when you're in the gun, you're limited a little bit in terms of what you can do in the running game. The back's usually off center and the pistol is behind you. It takes a while, Kevin, for the quarterback to get the ball, to hand it to the receiver, to the back. When you're under center, things happen quicker. The back gets the hole quicker, and that's really what Gary wants to do.
3rd running back, Juwan Thompson, is in. He gets the call right here. Schofield trying to provide a block, and down he goes, running into a thicket. Gains 3 yards, down to about the 27-yard line. Law out of Southern Miss once again makes the stop.
And you look at those numbers over the last 2 games. I do know this. They're 29-1 when they rush for 90 yards or more, going back to 2013. So it's important. And particularly this time of the year, as the weather starts to change back there in Denver, got to be able to run the football. And you look at those 2 backs, Anderson and Hillman. It just seems like they always have a fresh back in the game. And their numbers, you look at their carries this season, very, very similar.
Absolutely. Like today. 2nd down and 7. Osweiler. He's got Daniels as tight end. And he was knocked out of bounds on the near side by Williams with a catch and run of 6. So in Daniels, 10 years out of Wisconsin.
Pretty good mobility for a big, taller quarterback to be able to run these nakeds and boots to his left. You see him going to get his shoulders around. Looks pretty comfortable. Trying to throw that crosser to Vernon Davis. It's not there. He comes to Owen Daniels late. But I've been impressed. He's a bigger quarterback. He's a little bit longer. Doesn't have the suddenness that you like. But does a pretty good job throwing the ball on the move to his right and to his left.
So Robinson knocked him out of bounds.
San Diego.
A 3rd and 1. Chargers are going to take a timeout right here. As we take a look at the brain trust, defensive coordinators John Pagano, who is from Boulder, All-State High School linebacker in that state. Of course, his brother is the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from our CBS studios in New York, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower with scores and news and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football only on NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. In this game, we've had a 3-yard touchdown pass in the opening drive by Denver, and it looked beautiful. Osweiler to Thomas. Then a defensive touchdown. Trevathan, the linebacker, intercepting Rivers, returning at 25 yards for the TD. 3rd and 1. Caldwell in the backfield. Osweiler. Teo trying to throw him back.
He'd be the ideal quarterback, Kevin, for these quarterback sneaks. We're talking about a guy that's 6'8" and 240 pounds. You watch him at the end, he's going to keeps those legs churning. Watch him keep driving, keep pushing forward. You got to hold on to the football now. Get right to the ground. You got to get a little bit lower though. When you're 6'8", you got to get small in the hole.
Osweiler, who grew up in Montana, idolized Phillip Rivers when growing up. 8th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Good block by Green, the tight end. That is caught by Daniels with the coverage on the play by linebacker Denzel Perryman with a gain of 7 down to the 13-yard line of San Diego.
You know, you mentioned Rivers and Osweiler. They actually spent some time together last couple off seasons. They've worked out down at UCLA. Noel Mazzone was both their coaches. They have the same agent. And talking to Rivers on Friday, he said that this guy was terrific. Came in and wanted to learn, asked the right questions, and had a good work habit.
2nd down, 3 in the backfield. Hillman with a Schofield block, and he works his way for 2 down near the 10, and brought down on the play by Ricardo Matthews, getting that start for Lisbon on the defensive line today for the San Diego Chargers, with the 24th ranked defense, 26th against the run, 22nd against the pass. Hillman, not a San Diego State, so he's a local product. Drafted in the 3rd round by Denver. The game against the Chargers last year, 109-yard rushing performance. 3rd and 1 here. Caldwell again in the backfield. It's Andre Caldwell. Out of bounds. Looks like he's got the first. Chased over there by the rookie out of TCU, Jason Verrett. It's a 2-yard gain. They're down to the 9. Move the chains. Make it the 8. 1st and goal, Denver.
Well, I like this. Just creative ways to get some speed on the perimeter and do it with the backs. And now you bring a receiver in the backfield, line him up in the queue behind the quarterback and toss it to him. Allow him to get out on the edge.
Running game has set season highs the last 2 games. We've been talking about that because it's kind of what Gary's been envisioning with this zone blocking scheme. He
talked about it when he got the job.
Yeah, he sure did.
With Payton, said we want to be a more balanced team, and it starts with running the football a little bit more effectively.
1st and goal at the 8. It's Hillman. Looking for some blocking, and then he was belted in the secondary by Patrick Robinson, a former #1 pick by New Orleans, on a gain of 2 down to the 6.
You know, I think the big challenge for this San Diego defense is really just deciphering between the run and the boot. And I think the key to it is the offensive line on the run. You'll see them get up on the 2nd level to block the linebackers and the safeties. Obviously, if it's a boot, they can't do that. They'll stay flat. But that's really important for those linebackers to be able to play with great discipline with your eyes and really watch that offensive line in front of Brock Osweiler.
6-minute drive. Blocked by Daniels. Time for Osweiler on the move, and hits the deck about the 4. He's about ready to get leveled on the play. Perryman was zeroing in. It is a gain of 1 on a drive that has had Daniels catch a couple of passes and Anderson run for 7.
I think he moves a little bit better than you think for, you know, taller quarterback, and smart there. He's learning to get down and protect himself. A couple hits in that Chicago game and the Denver game as well. You learn that your best ability is your availability. They'll line up under center each and every week.
Best red zone receiver here is Demaryius Thomas. It's 3rd and goal at the 5.
Comes the blitz.
Osweiler looking for Vernon Davis and broken up on the play. It's incomplete. Big hit by Weddle. Davis acquired in that trade with San Francisco not too long ago. He's already caught a pass today. It's incomplete. 4th down. They'll bring out the field goal unit.
Well, you see the blitz. They bring 6. Perryman gets the free rush and forces Osweiler to get it out quick to Vernon Davis, and Weddle is right there to make the hit.
So here is Brandon McManus. 21-23. He's at every extra point. 23-yard field goal right here. Right through the middle, extending the Denver lead 17-0. They had 1st and goal at the 8. The Chargers hold him out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's, Land Rover, Above and Beyond, and by PlayStation 4, the best place to play.
Beautiful San Diego, 75 degrees today. Tomorrow, don't miss the Late Show with Stephen Colbert as Stephen reunites with Steve Carell plus Jennifer Hudson. All new tomorrow, only CBS. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon. So the Broncos have scored on a short touchdown pass, a pick six, and a 23-yard field goal moments ago as Herndon lets this bounce out of the end zone and a touchback to the 20. With a look at Phillip Rivers throwing that pick six. His team down 17-zip, 5:26 in the second. The Broncos' Walter Payton Man of the Year, the NFL nominee this year, is David Bruton Jr. It's his third season serving as the Play 60 spokesperson, and earlier this year established the David Bruton Jr. Foundation, which supports youth reading programs. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award has a long history of honoring players who have significantly impacted the game and the communities they live in.
Well, just 74 yards of offense for the Chargers so far here in the first half. It's been ugly.
Broncos just got a 23-yard field goal. Here's Rivers on 1st and 10. Bruton makes the stop on Antonio Gates, spinning him down, 27-yard line. Quick pickup of 7 through the air.
You know, Gates, not the fastest guy, but he's so clever and nifty. He just finds a way to find the hole, whether it's man or zone, and he does a great job using his body to create some separation, understands leverage.
2nd down 3. Here comes Jackson again. He's been living in the backfield. Now they're chasing him to the far side. Shane Ray, the rookie out of Missouri, chases him with a flag thrown. Gain of 8 as it stands right now, near the 35.
Holding, number 74, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It's former Denver 2nd-round pick Orlando Franklin. Spent 4 years as a starter, in fact, with the Broncos.
He's right in the middle of your screen, and he's got his hands full, Kevin. He's trying to block.
Boy, Jackson
is just, he's been all over the place in this one. And he turns right back to the official, calling for the holding call. Phillip Rivers did a lot of running for nothing. Had a difficult time slowing down this defensive line of the Broncos. Made things very difficult for Phillip Rivers here in the first half.
They bring in the number 1 defense in the NFL, does Denver. The defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips, 2nd down 13. Four defensive backs. Melvin Gordon on the draw, finds a spurt, gets a gain out to the 30. And finally brought down to the play by Darian Stewart, very close to a 1st down, which means about a 12, maybe 13-yard run by Gordon.
Really doing a nice job, the center and guard getting a double team, and then Gordon, he's just going to head right downhill. And this is a nice job by him, very decisive. And they get up on the 2nd level. Gates gets a nice block on Marshall.
Woodhead is in with the 1st and 10. 3-8 San Diego, winning last week after losing 6 straight.
He's telling me to get over here.
That was David Johnson, and here's well, there was a good tackle by Wolf, who's really been playing well. No gain on the play.
Kevin, he does it all. I mean, you talk about an air traffic controller, and it's Phillip Rivers. I mean, he tells everybody when to line up. He tells them to move over. I mean, watch this. You see him motion back in. He's going to get in the offset. He tells him, no, get behind me. You have to get behind me. I mean, he does everything for this football team. They'd be in big trouble without him.
2nd down 10. Rivers intercepted. Flag is thrown. Picked off on the play. Harris to the house again. But let's see what this is all about. Penalty was thrown at the 35.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 25, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
On the terrific Chris Harris Jr. just got called right there. The undrafted player out of Kansas whistled.
All right, this is going to be on Antonio Gates. He cannot do this to the quarterback. He's going to come out of the break, and he stops. And it's man-to-man coverage, and Rivers is thinking he's going to be out here. And so Rivers throws the ball thinking that Gates is going to continue on the outbreak, and he stops. You see the penalty right up the top of your screen there. That's where the hold is. But Gates fools the quarterback by stopping versus man-to-man.
Stevie Johnson was out there. Let's update a couple of injuries for you. All we're learning now from San Diego, the neck injury to Inman, which was fairly obvious in the knee injury to Flowers, the defensive back, waiting for more word on those. 1st and 10.
Well, when in doubt, you got to anticipate it's going to be man-to-man against this Denver defense.
Donald Brown, running back, is in the pistol. Brown, the former Colt, who tries to run up in, and there is Wolf to bring him down. The high pick out of Cincinnati 4 years ago. Gain at 2, 37 to Scott Kaplan.
Kevin, the injuries mount here on the San Diego sideline. Melvin Gordon is currently having his left ankle retaped. There is no word on whether or not he'll return. It looks like he'll probably be back, but right now shoe is off and left ankle being retaped.
Scott, thank you. 2nd down, long 8.
Staying with. Still Lucy? That's okay, yeah.
5 in the secondary for Denver. Rivers dumps it off. Brown stiff arms his way by Trevathan on the move, knocked out by Harris. Little spark right there for the former Big East Player of the Year, Donald Brown out of UConn. A 31-yard catch and run, and he takes it down to the 33 of Denver.
No, that's what hurts you. Phillip Rivers does a great job using all 3 backs, whether it's Gordon, Woodhead, or Brown, in the passing game.
Woodhead's going to come in. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Biggest play so far. 31-yarder. Great yards after catch. And away he goes in San Diego. Well, looks like he's spreading that ball around. Phillip Rivers through the air is 8 of 14.
Yeah, I said earlier they'd have to win inside with their the running backs and tight ends on Denver's linebackers and safeties, and that's just what Rivers has done. Just 1 catch today so far for Charger wide receivers.
And Gates has 3, and Rivers has hit 6 different receivers. 2-minute warning. Denver 2 timeouts. And he goes for Woodhead and overshoots him. Trevathan was in the area. Talib was waiting. Incomplete. 2nd down on this drive. Gates has caught 1 for 7. Gordon had a run of 13. And moments ago, they had Brown with a catch and run out of the backfield for 31.
And this is an area where the Chargers have been really good, as you'd expect with a quarterback like Phillip Rivers. 9 scores in the final 2 minutes of the first half so far this year. Wide out. And Antonio Gates, the wide out, going to signal the receivers, make the protection. He does. He does it all.
2nd and 10. He saw something, and he goes downfield and dropped by Floyd with coverage on the play by Stewart. Floyd was downfield, the 10th all-time leading receiver in Charger history. Now 3rd and 10 for San Diego. You're right, Rich. He does do it all.
Well, he's going to get you in the right play. He's going to change the play to get you at least give you a chance. But Roby does a really nice job there. He's going to undercut this, and he's been getting hit just about every time he drops back to throw the football.
Rivers in his 12th year. 3rd and 10 right now. 3rd down numbers up there on top. Gordon is still out. Woodhead in the backfield. Hurst in the block at the left tackle, going deep this time. They look for separation, looking for Floyd. Broken up by Talib. And he's hurt. Also, Stewart was back there. A couple of Jayhawks helping right there, Harris and Talib.
Well, we had a great conversation with Aqib Talib last night. He says he's only really concerned about 2 things: receivers who can run by him with speed, and the ones that can out-jump him. And this is just what Phillip Rivers is trying to do here, trying to throw a jump ball to Malcolm Floyd. Really nice coverage there by Aqib Talib. Just comes down awkwardly on his back and that arm.
Denver has used a timeout. It is an injury timeout, so they had to use it, and that is why they are down to 1. Rivers is thrown for 104 yards. The highest passing totals against this terrific #1 passing defense. Matthew Stafford went for 282. Brady last week, Rich, went for 280. And Rivers, who has multiple 300-plus yard passing games this season, is going at that #1 D this afternoon.
Yeah, really. The only defense in football that hasn't allowed a 300-yard passer. It's amazing when you think about how well they've played, Kevin. A big reason why is they've got a great pass rush, And they've got two corners that make it very difficult for you to throw the ball outside the numbers. I mean, Aqib Talib's had a terrific year. On the other side, you look at the job that Chris Harris has done. Roby does a nice job in the slot. Of course, that guy right there is about as good as it gets when it comes to dialing up fronts and pressures and coverage. And of course, he's got that history with Phillip Rivers. He was coached alongside Phillip Rivers as a member of Marty Schottenheimer's staff.
He was here when they drafted him.
Absolutely.
He was on this staff.
So they know each other very, very well.
Lambeau with a 51-yard field goal try. He has already missed in this game from 48, and he got it. Nice one from 51 yards away for Josh Lambeau, two-time All-SEC kicker. Puts it through. The shutout is gone, and San Diego is on the board late in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amazon Fire TV. Change the way you TV. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Coming up from our CBS studios in New York, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for the latest scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football, only on NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. You just saw the Aerospace Museum here in San Diego is shot by our San Diego-based cameraman, Chuck Denton. He had the crew to his beautiful home on Friday. That's over the head of Caldwell and out of the end zone, and a touchback to the 20-yard line. Well, Rich, you began the broadcast talking about now being in a better position for home field. They're a game in back of New England.
Yeah, and you look at the remaining strength of schedule, and the Patriots have the easiest one, but all I do know is this, Kevin, that the Denver Broncos have 3 of their last 4 games at home. They've still got a really good shot at earning home field advantage in the AFC.
And they got a 3-game lead in the West over 6-5 Kansas City. Today playing in Oakland. They've won 14 consecutive divisional road games. One of the best records ever in that category. And here now, saddled with 1 timeout from his 20, Osweiler 1st and 10. And the call to Anderson. They got away from a die and no gain on the play. They played aggressively that time. We just saw a 51-yard field goal by San Diego to make it a 17-3 Denver advantage. Winding out the first half here. A timeout for the Broncos and 2 for San Diego, 2nd and 10.
I think Gary Kubiak is a really good play caller, and I think he's been able to shift gears a little bit, go from Peyton Manning to Brock Osweiler, and I think really put together a plan that really fits Osweiler's strengths, and at the same time, not ask him to throw the ball 35 or 40 times a game to try and win it.
With a 2nd down and 10 for Osweiler. Goes outside. Here's Demaryius Thomas. Stiff arms his way into Steve Williams out of Cal. It is a gain of 7. They'll spot him at the 27. With a win today, Denver will win their 10th of the year, 4th consecutive season. They'll have won at least 10 games.
You know, in great conversation with Gary Kubiak last night, and we were talking about Osweiler, and although he hasn't played a lot, he has practiced quite a bit with the starters, especially the last 2 years. You know, every 3rd day in the offseason, he let Brock take the team, and of course, about halfway through the season last year, he was practicing a lot on Wednesdays when they were giving Peyton a day off, so the guy has gotten a lot of reps with the ones.
3rd and 3. And grabbed by Sanders with the coverage by the 2nd-year player Ferret. Gain of 7. Moved the chains. Put him at the 34.
Gain of 7.
What Gary Kubiak said about Osweiler, the most impressive thing he's done, he has not tried to do too much.
No, I think he understands what they're trying to get accomplished. They want to be able to run the football. They want to be able to play action and move him around a little bit and move the pocket. I think the best thing he's done, Kevin, is take care of the football. Just threw the 1 interception on a batted ball last week against the Patriots. He's taking good care of the football. He's making good decisions. And every time out is a learning experience. Remember now, this is just his 3rd start. Even though he's been in the league 4 years, this is just his 3rd start. So you see Greg Knapp there working with him, and Gary, and taking a look at this catch. Oh, it's hard to tell. Sometimes you get shadows out here in San Diego.
You're right.
It makes it pretty difficult, but I think he traps it between his hands and his chest.
It would have to come from the booth. There are no challenges inside 2 minutes. 1st and 10 from the 34. Underneath, caught by Anderson. Will dance with Robinson, upended on the play by Verrett. With a catch and run of 13 on the play.
You really got to hustle now. Just the one timeout. No timeouts left. You really got to hustle.
Well, McManus is ready and on the sideline. The second-year player at Temple, who's had a terrific season. He's already kicked a field goal here this afternoon. 1st and 10 from the 46. Osweiler almost picked off. Just that close by Weddle. He's got a pretty good beard going there. Incomplete.
Well, you're going to see Weddle. He's right here. He's going to drop in coverage. And Osweiler, I don't think ever feels him. Osweiler never feels Weddle come off. You've got to be able to make that play. This is a defense that's really struggled. Just 10 takeaways all season. Just 6 interceptions from this unit.
Looked like he was going for Benny Fowler downfield. 2nd and 10. Weddle missed a couple games earlier in the season with a groin injury. Osweiler off balance here, and he threads the needle. And
they're not going to be able to stop the clock.
Nope. Ingram, Teo were right there. Gain of 9. And down is Davis. We've had some heavy hitting. We've talked about the Inman neck injury, the Flowers knee injury for San Diego, and Davis and Talib before him slow to get up.
That'll stop the clock, but of course you'll have the runoff, so that'll end the half.
Yep, sure will. The runoff will end it.
He's going to get hit. Ooh. Boy, that should have been a penalty. My goodness.
That was a Melvin Ingram who laid the wood.
Boy, he hits him right in the face.
Had a couple of those today.
We've got a lot of helmets to helmets, and these officials haven't called them here in the first half.
Osweiler has thrown a 3-yard touchdown pass to Thomas. Trevathan picked off. Rivers returned at 25 for a touchdown. And we've had a Bronco 23-yard field goal. Denver at 9-2 on top, 17-3 halftime on CBS. Intercepted, picked off on the play. Danny Trevathan to the house. And the Broncos on top at halftime, 17-3. They had the pick 6. They also had a touchdown pass of 3 yards from Osweiler into Thomas. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, a beautiful day here in San Diego, and a lot of Bronco fans here in the stadium. What do you think of the first half?
Well, Kevin, really impressive performance by the Denver defense. Did a great job getting after Phillip Rivers and stopping the run. I'm really not surprised to see it. You know, protection we knew was going to be a problem. 2 starters out along the offensive line. The run defense has been terrific all year. There's a reason why they're second in run defense. And, of course, if you get around a quarterback enough and hit him, he's probably going to make this type of mistake. And a force to Antonio Gates, Trevathan right there for the interception. And I think the changes, adjustments at the half, offensively, the Broncos, they've got to continue to pound the football. Just 64 rushing yards from Hillman and Anderson combined. I think defensively, getting after Phillip Rivers, they may throw you another one. I think for San Diego, you got to protect Phillip Rivers. I mean, he's your franchise quarterback. He's been hit way too much in this one. I think defensively, Kevin, somebody's got to make a play. You know, somebody in that secondary. Weddle had a chance. He dropped an easy interception before the half. But when you're trailing 17-3 at home and your offense is having some issues, you need a big play somewhere, whether it's defensively or even in the kicking game. New special teams coordinator as well here in San Diego. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Yeah, they fired their special teams coach Kevin Spencer this week as Herndon keeps it in the end zone. San Diego will get it 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line to the sideline, and Scott Kaplan.
Kevin talking to Gary Kubiak during the halftime. He said, I'm really happy with our pressure on defense. Although we created 2 turnovers, we gave one away because of a penalty. He said on offense, we're playing young, and you can deduce he's talking about Brock Osweiler. As for San Diego's side, all Mike McCoy could say is we've got to find a way to keep Phillip Rivers from getting so much pressure that Denver created in that first half.
And Malik Jackson, thank you, Scott, has been up in his grill the entire game.
And remember now, they're without King Dunlap, the starting left tackle, without DJ Fluker, the starting right guard, and it has shown terms of the issues they've had slowing down that front seven of the Broncos.
Gordon is in to start the second half. That's batted down, and then Rivers wisely just spikes it. Incomplete, second down and 10. San Diego coming in 3-8. They won last week, but they had lost their previous 6. The Denver Broncos coming in number 1 in the AFC at 9-2. AFC West at 9-2 to this afternoon.
Look at Jackson. I mean, he is owning Orlando Franklin. He is either walking him back into the lap of Phillip Rivers or jumping up and batting balls at the line of scrimmage. He's really played well up front for the Broncos. Here's a run.
2nd and 10. You called it, and there goes Gordon. It's like Trevathan jumps on him from the side and brings him down. Gain of 4 to the 24. The Patriots, the Eagles. Let's go to James and Boomer in New York.
And the focus is on the Eagles. JB, 8 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Right before half, that's Chris Maragos. He's going to block the punt. Najee Good picks it up, runs 25 yards for the score for the Eagles. They tie it up 14-14. That's what you call not so special teams for the Patriots and very special teams for the Eagles. Back to Kevin Harlan.
How do you explain Philadelphia's up and down season, Rich?
It's been a sinking ship. Part of it is they've allowed 45 points in each of their last 2 games.
Offside there by Jackson. 3rd and 6. 3 down. Going deep. Looking deep and knocked away by Stewart. They were going for Steve V. Johnson. And coverage on the play by Harris.
Offside, number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, that's one way to slow him down. You got to change up your snap count. Stevie Johnson flinched a little bit as well.
He sure did. And I wonder if Jackson saw that.
But you got to change up the snap count so that you get those guys up front to have to think a little bit. Got to help that offensive line take the edge off of this rush.
2 starters out on the offensive line for San Diego. DJ Fluker along with King Dunlap. But they've had injuries on that line all season long. How many different starting lineups, Rich, have they had this season?
That's 7 different starting rotations, and that really affects everything you do, the communication, the chemistry.
3rd and 1. David Johnson, the fullback / tight end H-back, is there, and the former Pittsburgh Steeler. Take it right into the teeth of that defense and meet Brandon Marshall. Picks up a yard, maybe 2, has the first down to the 31.
We just have a difficult time, playing that power running game. They don't have the big tight ends to block you. They don't have that, they've got a young back that's still trying to figure things out, and he's not used to lining up in the offset. He's used to being in the eye, and that's one of the things that Frank Wright talked to us a little bit about on Friday. We're just making do with the personnel that we have up front right now.
Broncos in the nickel. 1st and 10. Gordon. There's another big hole for him. Shiftily moves into the secondary. Chased by Bruton. Hit by Harris and has the first down. Crossing into Denver territory at the 49. A run of 20. Back to Boomer and James in New York.
A historic first, Boomer. That's right. Kevin and Rich love the History Channel. Here's one for you. How about this block by Kevin Williams, picked up by Stephon Anthony. He's going to run it all the way back. That is a failed extra point returned by the defending team for the first ever 2-point conversion in that situation in NFL history. For the Saints, they lead 16-13. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Terrific note. Thank you, guys. After a 20-yard run, here comes Gordon again on 1st and 10. Picks up 5. Dragging him down on the play. Shane Ray, the first-round pick out of Missouri, gain of 5 to the 43.
We're finally getting this running game going a little bit, and I just think this is the type of back. The more touches he gets, the better he's going to be. Look at those first half possessions, not pretty. And this is a team that's done a pretty good job on 3rd down throughout the course of the year, putting together long drives and just haven't been able to get anything really going against this Denver defense.
2nd down and 5. Here's the Heisman runner-up from a season ago, Gordon once again. And oh, did he fumble the ball? Yes, he did. Denver's got it. And coming through, Von Miller got the ball. His 5th fumble of the year, the 4th one he's lost, and Denver takes over.
His 5th fumble, Kevin. Only Adrian Peterson has more among running backs this season.
You are on it. Timeout. Gordon had just had that 20-yard run to put him into Denver territory. Then he fumbled shortly after. And there is a review. All turnovers automatically reviewed.
You look at it, the ball is actually, you're looking at Gordon, but the ball is actually, it's airborne.
That's very clear. So it looks like the Broncos are going to take over.
Literally is sitting on the chest of Von Miller as he's going to the ground.
Broncos have beaten San Diego 3
After
straight.
reviewing the play, they're really on the field stands. Fumble recovery, first down.
As we said, the 5th by Gordon, 4th that he's lost. So Denver, which comes in with a 0 takeaway giveaway, and San Diego, which is -6, has turned it over. The Chargers have turned it over twice today, so Denver is +2. Von Miller, right there, is able to make the stop and retrieve the ball. The 3-time Pro Bowler out of Texas A&M.
Well, the Broncos have had great balance offensively, Kevin. 17 runs, 16 passes. And that's what you want when you got a young quarterback under center.
2 smart offensive players right there. C.J. Anderson along with Vernon Davis out now with injuries. Concussion for Davis, ankle for Anderson. 1st and 10, outside they go. Emmanuel Sanders stiff arms his way into Jason Verrett. And the catch and run of about 3. He's up near the 45.
It was interesting talking to Brock Osweiler last night. He said this offseason he really wanted to take some time to really study what he thought were some of the best quarterbacks and study them from the neck up. And, of course, he didn't have to look very far and studied Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And he actually spent some time with a sports psychologist to really work on the mental aspects of the game.
2nd down, 7, Osweiler. Boy, he faced a rocket right there in the oncoming Melvin Graham. It is a sack, and it is back to the 36-yard line. Loss of 9.
Well, this is a problem. I mean, you're running a boot right into the outside linebacker, and he's unaccounted for. Osweiler has no chance in this situation.
Contact to the head. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Roughing the passer wipes away the sack.
That's a bad call. And here's why. I mean, he's trying to make a play. Osweiler ducks. He just literally, with the top of his hand, hits the head of the quarterback. I mean, at some point, we got to let these guys play, don't we? I wish I was still playing quarterback. You can't get near him. Can't touch him.
And look at the penalty. Takes him all the way down to the 40-yard line of San Diego.
Well, Mike Carey would probably agree with the officials. I mean, anytime you hit him in the head, they're going to call up. And that's really tough. When a guy like Ingram, he's trying to make a play. The quarterback ducks the last second. He winds up hitting him with the inside of his wrist. You see John Pagano, he can't believe it.
1st and 10. Hillman in the backfield and the call. With a good tackle made by Kyle Emanuel, the rookie out of North Dakota State, and a loss of a yard. Let's take you to New York, and here is Mike Carey. And Mike, you saw the penalty. What'd you think?
Yes, the league is very clear on this. All the responsibility is on the defender to avoid contact with the head, even if the quarterback ducks. And it's just happenstance, but safety is paramount.
Right here, you, Mike, but man, it's hard on these defenders. I mean, you just do everything you can to try and play by the rules, and sometimes they get you.
2nd down, 11. Osweiler hit here high again.
That's another one.
And Ingram comes through and brings him down. There's no flag here. Back at the 49, he is sacked with a loss of 7. That is a sack. That is his 5th of the season.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag there. Ingram, again, right in position. He's going to beat the right tackle around the corner, Schofield, and well, he gets him around the neck. That's actually a really good call and a great play by Melvin Ingram, Kevin. Here's a guy that made a terrific play a moment ago, wound up being penalized for it, comes right back with a big sack on 2nd down.
Thompson in the backfield. They need the San Diego 30, 3rd and 18 for Osweiler.
Screen.
Thompson. He gets a block right there from Evan Mathis. And downfield, he was getting some blocking, too, by Matt Paradis, who is the center. Running downfield, a 14-yard catch and run, and they do get into field goal territory with that play by Juwan Thompson out of Duke. And they'll try for 3.
Well, that's not very good by San Diego defensively, Kevin. You know, in 3rd and long, in a situation like that with a young quarterback, you're thinking of 2 things, screen or draw, and it's just what they hit him with, the screen, and hit him big. Now you give a guy like McManus a chance to make a kick.
McManus has already kicked a 23-yard field goal. Colquitt with the hold. Wind at his back, and he misses. A missed field goal from 52. And San Diego will get it back. The normally reliable McManus. Wide right. 9/23.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light. It never needs a battery. And by United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com.
That's the midway. Before that, we saw the Ronald Reagan here in beautiful San Diego, 75 degrees. We just saw missed field goal of 52. First and 10 from the 42-yard line for Phillip Rivers. He brings in his 3-8 Chargers today. Began the season 2-2. Lost 6, won last week. Underneath he goes. Gordon he's being chased down the play by big man on the defensive line, Vance Walker, who's taken the place of the injured Sylvester Williams. It is a gain of 8 on the play. Well, tonight, Week 13 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tomorrow with Monday Night Football on ESPN and Westwood One. Then Week 14 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. Hope you can join me and Boomer Esiason tomorrow in Washington, D.C. We'll have the Cowboys and the Redskins for you on Westwood One. 2nd down 2. Floyd on the move. Woodhead with the call. And he spurts through. Tackled by Barrett. Hit by Bruton. Picks up 7. Has the first down for San Diego.
Well, I really like Danny Woodhead. He's just... Actually, it's Brown. I really like Brown.
Excuse me, yes.
He's just... It's a guy that, when given opportunities, and that's the problem, Kevin. You got Melvin Gordon, you got Danny Woodhead. Donald Brown doesn't get a ton of touches, but we saw him with the nice catch early. But he's got a way to get skinny in the hole. Here it is again.
Second consecutive carry. Only had 5 carries all season long coming into today. Gets the call on 1st and 10 and picks up 2. With a couple guys, including Bruton, at the bottom of that pile for Donald Brown. Most of his career with the Colts.
Gordon. See him on the sidelines there. We saw him gimping around a little bit ago and put the ball on the ground. And sometimes, Kevin, they tell you to go stand on the bench and watch.
2nd down, long 8.
Get in.
Rivers, good pressure. Gates, undercut him. Bruton. 3rd down.
Well, Bruton's done a nice job. You know, you just see Bruton. He's jogged. One guy's running as hard as he can. The other guy's just kind of coasting. I mean, just you don't see the speed that from Antonio Gates, and they've done a nice job with their communication and passing off these crossing routes with the tight ends inside.
Bruton taking the place of the injured Ward. Ward is out with a high ankle sprain. 3rd and a long 8. Six defensive backs for the Broncos. Woodhead in. Quick slant. Caught by Floyd. Hit on the play by Roby. And takes the ball down to the 26 and a fumble on the play. He coughed it up and recovered by Denver, and Stewart with the flag thrown.
Pass interference, number 11, offense. The penalties declined. 1st down, Denver.
Wow.
So San Diego's second half resume: missed 48-yard field goal, fumble by Gordon, fumble by Floyd. Denver's ball halfway through the 3rd. The 10-year veteran Malcolm Floyd coughing it up on a play that was going to put San Diego deep in Denver territory. It's the 3rd turnover today by San Diego. Osweiler takes over at his 26 with the 1st and 10. Demarius Thomas, a block by Sanders, and then tackled on the side with a 9-yard gain. A look at the AFC playoff picture with the win last week. Denver comes to within a game of New England, playing right now against Philadelphia.
Jets get a big win today against the Giants. And of course, stay alive in that wild card. And of course, Kevin, how about Kansas City? They've been on a roll. After winning in week 1 in Houston, they lose 5 in a row. Then they win 5 in a row.
Oakland beating Kansas City right now up in the Bay Area. Hillman in the backfield. Anderson out with an ankle. with the block by Daniels, and also trying to get some help from the tackle Schofield on the right side. Ingram was there with the stop, and they give him a gain of 2. He's up to the 36.
I think the key for the Chargers defensively in this 3-4 defense to play well against the run. The play side, you have to set the edge and stop that stretch play. And on the back side, you got to be disciplined with your eyes and play the cutback. And if you look at the Chargers and the big runs that they've given up, it's either then they've gotten outflanked on the play side or they've given up the cutback to both of these backs.
Hillman on 1st and 10. Just about had it behind the line of scrimmage with Teo. And then he was hit after a gain of 2. A couple of guys right there, including Emmanuel. And they'll spot him at the 39. Find the perfect gift for your favorite sports fan, team, and player apparel and gear for every sport. Plus free shipping when you shop CBS Sports. Shop now at cbssports.com/gift. 2nd down 8. After 2 consecutive cold weather settings in Chicago and Denver and the warmth of San Diego, up the middle it goes, the tight end Virgil Green. Brought down by Adai. The catch and run take him to the 39. It's a 22-yard catch and run, 1st down Denver.
Well, this is what they want. This is the tight end on a little hook route. He's going to match up on the linebacker, Manti Teo. And Teo tries to undercut it, pauses just for a second, and takes his eye off the tight end and looks in the backfield at the quarterback, and that creates just enough separation for Virgil Green.
Omaha,
1st and 10, Osweiler's hit 5 in a row. Looking deep and going for Sanders, and incomplete with a diving Adai. Manuel Sanders in the crosshairs about the 5. Coverage on the play by Verrett. 2nd and 10.
Well, you got to sit in there with a tough jaw. He's been hit a couple times today. Look at this one. Boom. Right in the midsection. Good effort there by Kendall Reyes.
2nd and 10. Thompson in the backfield. There's Jawan the call. And some room and a block up ahead by Cody Latimer. He takes it in the secondary. It's a pickup of 12 on the play. Tackled in the secondary that time by Robinson. 12-yard pickup, another 1st down.
Well, really nice job by the tight end and the right tackle, and you're just going to see the run. But look at the tight end. He's going to get the kick out. Virgil Green, the right tackle, does a nice job walling it off and allowing the back to get up on the 2nd level. A nice run there by Juwan Thompson.
Thompson today has carried it a couple times. Here's number 3. Running into a pile. Not a whole bunch there. Emmanuel brings him down. So the passing today of Osweiler, 14-21 for 145. Thompson, 3 carries and about 16 yards. Top rusher, 7 for Anderson with 42. He is now out with an ankle.
And with Anderson out, we're seeing more of Thompson. But Gary Kubiak always does a nice job rolling the backs through there and keeping them fresh. It's a big reason why they've had a lot of success in the running game.
By design, 2nd down and 10. Here's got some time. Lofting it deep and picked off by Verrett. He gets his 2nd interception of the season. They were going for Sanders in the end zone. It's the 1st interception thrown by Osweiler today and the 3rd of the year. And the former pick out of TCU, Verrett, snatches it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. And by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
There's a hoverboard right there, and hovering high above, aerial coverage of today's game provided by MetLife. A lot of Broncos. Look at all the orange in that crowd right there.
The only way to fix that, Kevin, is to win.
Yep.
To win a lot at home. They haven't done that.
Just had a pick by Verrett. 1st and 10 from the 24. Phillip Rivers. More pressure. More running. Throwing it away. Well, we've had turnovers, and again, Rivers has hit hard on the play.
Yeah, and you hate to throw it to the other team. And, of course, that they did it right here to Danny Trevathan. And fumble by Gordon. winds up in the lap of Von Miller for the second one, and the third one was really terrific hit by Roby, stripped by Bush, and Darian Stewart was there to fall on it. One thing, the defense has done a nice job in two of those situations. They've held them without points.
Second down and 10. Brown in the backfield.
Left tackle.
Hairston.
There's a lot of talking going on there. It took a while.
Number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Hairston has had to play all over the line this year. Right guard, right tackle, left tackle. 6 start today at the left tackle for the injured King Dunlap for Coach Mike McCoy.
And you'd get antsy, too, if you had to block Von Miller all day.
Absolutely.
You're sitting there waiting, and it takes a while. And those tackles can get antsy.
Broncos have won 14 consecutive divisional road games coming back into today, going back to 2011. 3-game lead in the West over second place Kansas City, who is losing right now in Oakland. Second down and 15.
We're seeing more of Brown since the fumble by Gordon. No question about that.
Rivers.
Oh, was that a good throw?
That was a great catch, too, and it's grabbed on the play by Javonte Herndon out of Arkansas. Close to a first down, pickup of about 14 yards.
Phillip Rivers throws this long before the receiver is out of the break. I mean, before Herndon even turns around, that ball's in the air.
3rd and 1. Quickly to Brown. Got it. Knifing his way and tackled by newly instated Josh Bush, who was activated last night with a pickup of 4. He's up to the 33.
As poorly as the Chargers have played, Kevin, offensively, they got a score here. They're right back in it. I mean, defense done a much better job since the first quarter.
Broncos have not given up a third quarter touchdown all season long. Last 5 games, excuse me. 1st and 10.
Comes the run.
Brown. Look at him run hard. Tackled again in the secondary by Bush with a run right there of 11. Another first down. Tonight, are students being pressured into becoming confidential informants? A 60 Minutes investigation. Plus, a primate closer in DNA to humans than any other on Earth. All tonight, only CBS. Brown with the pickup of 11 right there.
Here comes another run. When you see the Chargers put David Johnson in the game and they get Phillip Rivers under center, you got to say to yourself, something's up.
Brown again. They get Woodhead on the play, and Corey Nelson is the one to make the stop. The 7th round pick out of Oklahoma last year. Picks up 2, does Woodhead, with the flag on the play. And Walt Coleman.
Holding, number 79, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's on Kenny Wiggins, the second-year guard out of Fresno State, playing the right guard. Second straight start replacing the injured DJ Fluker.
How about your top 2 receivers for the Chargers, Kevin? Malcolm Floyd, 1 catch. Stevie Johnson, nothing. Not a single catch today.
San Diego 7 penalties on the afternoon, 5 on the offense.
Had a very difficult time getting the ball in the perimeter to these receivers, and big reason why is play of the corners. Keith Talib has been outstanding in this one. So is Chris Harris.
Woodhead in 4 wide. 1st and 20. He guns one here, and he overshoots Floyd, who is covered closely by Aqib Talib. New Orleans, Carolina, with James and Boomer in New York.
Kevin, Cam. How about this throw by Cam Newton, guys? 13 yards to Ted Ginn Jr. Back of the end zone, wide open. Cam Newton, 15 of 21, 140 yards, 2 TDs. Panthers take the lead, 20-16 over the Saints.
Accurate when he needs to be. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
How about this, guys? Panthers have won 15 consecutive regular season games. Big reason why is plays like that from Cam Newton.
They can clinch the South today. They did clinch it. 2nd down and 20. With a tackle by Wolf and a gain of 3. Woodhead, 3 carries and 10 yards. Brown, 5 carries and 24 yards. Melvin Gordon, a fumble, 12 carries and 55 yards. Third and 17. They need the 46 of the Broncos. 6 Denver defensive backs. Rivers underneath. Woodhead. He makes one miss. He's hit by Harris and brought down by Marshall. Gain of 10 on 3rd and 17. Gets it out to the 47. Punting unit comes in.
You know, the one thing I've really noticed from studying this Denver defense is they tackle well. You look at the numbers, number 1 defense, number 2 against the run, number 1 against the pass. And it's a big reason why they have the talent. We've talked about that, but as a group, they really do a good job once they get their hands on you, getting you to the ground.
7 plays punt. Rivers walks off 12 of 25 for 151 today. The punt here by Cephas. And that ball's going to be inside the 5 and inside the 3 and inside, landing at the 2 with a great hang time and a 51-yard punt. The John going back and forth. Rivers and Harris, 2 terrific players. We mentioned that they fired special teams coach Kevin Spencer Wednesday. They were last in punt return yards and average field beginning field position.
Never a good thing when you're firing coaches, Kevin, during the season.
Thompson on 1st and 10 with a good punt that landed inside the 5. No gain on the play. All kinds of guys have a hand on it. Manuel in there stopping Thompson.
Let's just check out this penetration. I mean, this could have been a safety. It's a nice job just getting out of the end zone. Great penetration by Butler.
Donald Butler, who lost his starting position to Perryman.
Trying to get it back.
He sure is.
Plays like that.
2nd down and 10. The seconds rolling off and the 4th quarter coming up. So there was no scoring in that 3rd. Let's go to the 4th on CBS. Scoreless 3rd quarter. We're now in the 4th. Osweiler has thrown a 3-yard touchdown pass. They've gotten a 23-yard field goal. Trevathan a pick 6 on Rivers.
San Diego's played a lot better defensively, Kevin, since the half.
2nd and 10. Daniels on the move. And Thompson bulldozing his way up. Hit by Weddle. Picks up 4. Got to the 6. So on Thompson again. C.J. Anderson is out with an ankle injury. They've lost Vernon Davis to a concussion. So we're seeing Thompson, who has carried the ball today. Let's see here. 5 times, 19 yards. Not much on the last 2 possessions. Let's see what Osweiler does now. 3rd and 6. Into the nickel. Here they come. There it goes. And it was caught by Demaryius Thomas with the coverage on the play by Robinson. What a throw with heavy traffic to the 17. A pickup of 11 and a 1st down for Denver.
Wow. Let's talk about a fingertip grab. He's bobbled it.
I think he got it.
I don't know that it ever touched the ground. We got a good look at it from this angle. It hits his knee. Then he's able to get that left hand back underneath it.
Good call, Rich.
Great concentration by Demaryius Thomas, who had some drops last week against the Patriots.
Demaryius has 5 catches for 51 yards. Closing in on 1,000 for the season with the 1st and 10. This is Hillman. And hit by a couple. Teo is there. Gain of 5 on the play up to the 22. What kind of job do you think Gary Kubiak has done coming in and taking over a veteran team with high expectations?
Well, there's a reason they're 9-2. I think he's done a terrific job. And it's not easy to win with the backup quarterback. And they've won 2 straight games with Brock Osweiler. I think how they handled the whole situation. Good news that Peyton's getting better. He took the boot off on Friday. He's close to getting back on the practice field. And then they'll sort through all that. They've done a nice job not allowing that to be a distraction.
Hillman is in, end around, 2nd and 6. Sanders trying to wheel and lost his footing. He got out to the 26-yard line with a gain of 4. The Raiders, the Chiefs, with James and Boomer.
Kevin, I want to hear Boomer's narration of this.
Well, JB, I can't wait to hear Rich Gannon on Monday QB just explain Derek Carr holding onto the ball right here and throwing an interception to Josh Maga. Now, Josh Maga was Bart Scott's backup with the Jets, and he's saying, look at this guy who's running. He's running like a nose tackle. He's a linebacker, takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Jeremy Maclin goes in on a touchdown reception, and the Chiefs tie the Oakland Raiders 2020.
Rich, what were they thinking? What was he thinking?
What's Hillman thinking here? Then he got clubbed as he got in the secondary, hit by a die. On that 3rd and 2, he picks up 10, a first down for the Broncos.
Yeah, and the Chiefs, Kevin, aren't used to being in tight games. They've won their last 5 in a row by an average margin of nearly 3 touchdowns. Watch this finish. Boom. Oof. Wow. Keep your head on a swivel. I don't think he ever saw that hit coming on the boundary.
Catapult move right there. Hillman, who's had 3 100-yard games rushing this season. He had started the last 5 games. Osweiler, Hillman. Oh, he hurdles the defender. Got a block from Schofield. And he takes it off on the right side. And he moves the ball up to the 44. Picks up 7. Hillman will leave with the sideline report. Here's Scott Kaplan.
Kevin, from the Denver side, inside linebacker Danny Trevathan is right now undergoing concussion protocol. Return is questionable.
And he had the pick 6. Thank you, Scott. Earlier in the game, a 25-yard return on a Rivers throw. Here's Osweiler, whose contract expires at the end of the season, as does Von Miller's. Think of that quandary that John Elway finds himself in.
What's that?
They had Latimer in motion on a 2nd and 3. And a tackle is made by Melvin Ingram on the run by Thompson. And a gain of 6 right there. Make it 5. He's up to the 49. They'll move the change. But what do you do now? You got Manning coming back. They think he may come back this year. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, Kevin, and they'll have to make some decision. But look, at the end of the day, you can't allow it to be a distraction. I think as a team, they've done a really nice job focusing on the opponent and not the depth chart, the quarterback position. That's all going to work itself out at some point. But Gary Kubiak's done a nice job not allowing that to be a distraction with this football team.
Thompson in. 1st and 10. Juwan Thompson. And then brought down by Perriman after a gain of 5. He is into San Diego territory at the 49, coming up after the game, time permitting. The Subway postgame show from New York, JB and Company, for scores, news, and highlights. All coming up after the game on the Subway postgame show, if time allows.
It's just to pay off what you said, Kevin, about the Manning situation. I think it's important to keep things in perspective. I think Brock's come in and done a nice job. This is his 3rd start. Peyton Manning, 265 starts in his career. That's just regular season starts. There's something to be said for experience in the postseason as well.
Peyton back home in Denver, watching 2nd down and 5. With Thompson. And down right there with no gain. Nice stop made by Matthews. So as we heard before the game at the loss of 2, Scott Kaplan told us about the left foot of Manning. Partial tear of the plantar fascia. Left foot. Had the cast, then the walking boot. Now it is off. And it will be a process as he comes back, Rich.
Yeah, and you know, people say, well, why wouldn't Peyton Manning be here to cheer on his teammates or help Brock Osweiler? I think it makes perfect sense, Kevin, that they left him home. They left him home, and they also left Sylvester Williams and T.J. Ward, who were both hurt on that same play last week. You get treatment on Friday. You get treatment on Saturday. You get treatment on Sunday. They're not going to help themselves standing around on the sidelines out here for 4 hours.
Here's the 11th play of the drive. 3rd and 7. Hit as he throws. Incomplete. Aiming for Benny Fowler. A lot of pressure. Leggett was there. They had Weddle. And that's a punting situation coming up now for Denver. They began the drive at the 2.
Well, boy, Leggett, Hillman's got to take the edge off of that. He's coming across the cross key, maybe just a little bit of a right shoulder there to take the hit off of Brock Osweiler.
They did run 5.5 off the clock. They could flip the field here as Britton Colquitt will send this to Herndon. Let this bounce. And bounce it does for Denver. Down at the 1. Nice play by Caldwell. 47-yard, well-placed Colquitt punt. 9:01 fourth. The Chargers' Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year nominee this season is Darryl Stuckey. For the last 3 years, he's led football camps as the Chargers United Way spokesman and Play 60 challenge ambassador. Does so much. There's so many players like him, more like him than otherwise. So congratulations for the nomination. Colquitt with his second punt inside the San Diego 10. He has been terrific, and here comes quarterback Phillip Rivers. 1st and 10. He's got Gates, who is brought down by Stewart, and the gain to the 11, and he picks up 10. It is a first down.
They move him all around, do a terrific job. He's an inline player. They put him in the slot. They put him out wide, have him run routes against safeties, linebackers, corners.
Trying to find some room right there on a 1st down and 10 with only a gain of 2 on the play. With a run by Donald Brown, and off the bottom of the pile is Corey Nelson. You know, this defense of Wade Phillips, number 1 right now, and we have a player down. I can't see the name. We're going to hold off. 8:27 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Your local Lexus dealer and their pursuit of perfection. And by Verizon. Better matters.
The historic Santa Fe Depot in downtown San Diego. Barksdale got off the field. They will check him out. 2nd down and 8. Burwell is in. The rookie free agent now playing that right tackle. With a handoff to Brown. One of the reasons why Brown is in, he rarely fumbles. He's only fumbled once in like over 700 carries. We saw the Gordon fumble earlier on. No gain on the play. We've had a lot of injuries today. First of all, an ankle injury to C.J. Anderson, a concussion protocol being carried out on tight end Vernon Davis. Trevathan is out now for the game. He's being looked at. Watching these players, especially with concussion-like symptoms, is huge for the NFL. Inman was off on a stretcher with the neck injury. Flowers with the knee. A lot of injuries both ways. The league is big into this. Woodhead in the backfield, 3rd down and 8. Look out. Miller's got him. Miller brings him down with his 2nd sack today. Von Miller, a runaway freight train. The 3rd sack by Denver's defense today. Miller is up to 9 on the season.
Well, this is just a mismatch. I mean, he's just going to beat him around the edge. Harrison gets out of his stance, but it just Von Miller is so quick to the quarterback.
Boy, he is, Rich.
I mean, it's just a better athlete there. That's all you can say.
Here's the punt by Cypress. And fair catch allotted to Emmanuel Sanders with a 50-yarder. Denver trying to get to their 10th win of the season. Thursday night only on NFL Network, the Vikings take on the Cardinals in a huge showdown between 2 of the NFL's best. Thursday night football, Thursday at 8, only on NFL Network.
Well, the Broncos really flipped field position. The last possession they had at their own 2. This one starts at the 45. 43-yard differential. Great punt there.
What's that?
Osweiler with a 1st and 10 handoff to Hillman. With all kinds of charges right there, limiting him to a gain of 2, and he's up to the 47-yard line. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway postgame show. JB and company with scores, highlights, and news. Subway postgame show coming up next, if time allows, from New York. 2nd down and 8. They are 38 yards away from Demaryius Thomas getting to 1,000 yards for the season. But more importantly from that, the Chargers are still lingering and within reach.
Yeah, Denver has not been able to put them away here in the 2nd half. I mean, 17-3. And, I always say bad things happen when you let a team like this hang around, especially when you're on the road.
2nd down and 8.
This is going to be a run.
You're right. And Hillman dancing a bit. And then brought down by Manti Te'o with a gain of a yard to the 48. to Boomer and James in New York.
Kansas City trying to win 6 straight.
Derek Carr threw a second interception. Kansas City takes the ball down the field. Jeremy Maclin goes in for the score, but more importantly, while Kansas City misses yet another extra point, there have been 9 missed extra points today alone. Last year, there were a total of 8.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
Well, that is playing a factor in this season with the extended reach now, the PAT. Thank you, guys.
It's only going to get worse as we get into December.
Absolutely.
Places like Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And
Denver's taking a timeout with a 3rd and 7.
Team timeout.
On their plate, Osweiler will walk over to Gary Kubiak.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Best Buy. Win the holidays. And by Subway. Make your sub deluxe with 50% more meat.
Hotel Del Coronado. They can ice skate and walk 50 feet and be on the beach. Look at the Pacific. 3rd and 7 after that timeout taken by Osweiler. He had the touchdown in the first drive. Since then, not much. Moves up. Finds Thomas. Tackled on the play by Steve Williams, who dances with him. It's a pickup of 10. And they get the first down on the play. And now he is 28 yards away from 1,000. So they get the 3-yard touchdown pass, Rich, to Thomas on the first drive. Since that time, they have a missed field goal. They did get a 23-yard field goal, but the miss was the second in as many games by McManus. I mean, what's the read on this offense today?
Well, it's a big-time throw there from Osweiler. I just think he's starting to get a better feel for Demaryius Thomas, Kevin. As you mentioned, 6 catches for 61 yards, a touchdown. He's starting to come on here a little bit. Still haven't found a way to get the ball outside the Sanders zone.
You saw they're looking at Thomas on the side. Here comes Hillman. Oh, boy, just a oncoming rush. And looks like Ingram is down. Loss of 2. Melvin Ingram making the stop and holding on to his knee back at the 45-yard line. Looks like let's see if he hobbles off. Timeout taken by San Diego. That's their second. 3-8 Chargers against the 9-2 Denver Broncos. Broncos begin the season 7-0. They had won coming into today 14 consecutive divisional road games. Going in on their 5th consecutive AFC West Division title. Had a 3-game lead over Kansas City coming into today. And one of the things we talked about early, Rich, was dealing with their own success and being able, with Manning out and Osweiler in and coming off that emotional nationally televised win over New England last week. I mean, there are a lot of things you're dealing with, not just the record, but just the emotion that comes with the record.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, I think, handling success, not allowing the Manning situation to become a distraction. I think they just have rallied around the young quarterback, and they found a way to get it done.
It's Hillman on 2nd down and 12, looking for a block, and I thought he might get it that time from Ryan Harris, the left tackle, with a gain of 4 as he goes around the edge and hit by a couple, including Perriman. With the timeout taken, Denver has 2, and San Diego just used their 2nd. Here's what's coming up. A date against Oakland, but they're now losing to Kansas City. Then they go to Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and then again these same Chargers after the first of the year.
Well, obviously 2 of the 4 teams have losing records, and 3 of those last 4 games are at home. So I think it's a favorable schedule the rest of the way, and at some point, you're going to get Peyton Manning back. Talked to Gary about it on Saturday night. He said, hey, look, he's out of the boot. He's close to getting back on the practice field. That's a good thing.
And what do you think is going to happen? Let's say he is healthy enough to start.
I think it's a good problem. I really do, because they're not going to put him back out there, Kevin, unless he's able to move around and make plays and be the Peyton Manning. I think the time off. The other thing is people make a big deal about the foot. Gary told us it wasn't just the foot. He had the ribs that were bothering him. His shoulder was banged up. Probably shouldn't have played him in the Kansas City game, but regardless, when he's healthy, he'll be back under center.
Thomas is still out, 3rd and 8. Osweiler, he has Hillman. Oh, what a nice defensive play by Weddle. Incomplete. Boy, Weddle read that beautifully for San Diego.
I would have taken the shot down the field. I mean, he had a chance to really heave this one to Latimer. He had the time, but that's a good hit there by Eric Weddle.
Weddle's a free agent after this year. Colquitt has had 2 punts inside the 10. He's had a marvelous day punting for the Denver Broncos. who have won 3 straight and 7 of 8 over San Diego. They've won 4 consecutive games here over the Chargers in Southern California. See what he does here. Beat back is Herndon. This one will go into the end zone. And that is only his 4th touchback of the season. Saturday, it's the game that stands all alone. All guts, all grit, and all glory. And this year, the all-time rushing touchdown leader in college football, Navy's Keenan Reynolds. It's Army-Navy. The festivities begin with college football today on CBS. Always one of the
something special. I remember, Kevin, as a kid, growing up in Philadelphia, going to the Army-Navy game with my mom and dad. What a spectacle. It's an unbelievable tradition, and we're fortunate to have it right here on CBS.
Used to play in old JFK Stadium.
Yes, right outside of the Spectrum and Veterans Stadium.
Rivers 1st and 10, dumping it to Woodhead, incomplete with the coverage on the play. Maybe even hearing some steps there. The terrific Brandon Marshall.
Well, down by 2 scores here. This is essentially 4-down territory. I mean, they've got 4 minutes. They've got the 1 timeout. You look at Frank right there. He's telling that to Phillip Rivers, hey, we've got 4 shots here now. Every time we get a 1st down, let's be smart. Let's take care of the football, but let's try and get back in this game. Not done a good enough job on 1st down.
Rivers 13 of 27, 2nd down and 10. Here comes Barrett. Got the ball out. Gates on the move. Brought down by Josh Bush from Wake Forest. Seen a smattering of action this year. Just activated. Gain of 15 yards and a 1st down to the 35.
Man, they just continue to run these crossing routes, and he continues to give you different looks. He does a nice job changing it up. Little stutter step there to be able to create some separation between himself and the defender.
Rivers today making his 156th consecutive start. Number 2 in the longest active streak in back of Eli Manning. You know, they made news together on draft day. Rivers, here comes Barrett, and with the left hand he throws it away. Rivers. Incomplete pass by Rivers and a flag. Last time Rivers led the NFL in passing yards, 2010. He comes in number 5 today.
Both tackles have struggled in this one, both the right tackle and the left tackle.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. Holding number 74. That penalty will be declined. Intentional grounding, number 17, offense. That penalty will be accepted. 10 yards from the previous spot and lost it down. 2nd down.
Yeah, you're going to see the pressure off the edge. Forces Rivers to his left. I don't think this ball ever makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
They've got Burwell, who's over there now at the right tackle, taking the place of the injured Chris Hairston, who's on the sideline, and that's where they're leaking through on that right side.
I mean, it's tough when you're without starting left tackle.
Yeah.
Right tackle's out, right guard's out. Talked about all different combinations and starting different rotations with this offensive line. Robinson, the center, is the only one that's started all 16 games, or all 11 games up to this point.
Right, the center, you're right. He should have walked off 10. He's only walked off 9. Here we go. He must have a little radio or something, right? He walked off 11.
What's a yard between friends?
Yeah, 2nd and 20. We need the 45. Here they come again. Jumping it out, Gates. Not a lot of room to go right there. Bruton was in with a gain of a yard on the play to the 25.
Rivers just doesn't have the time, Kevin. He needs to really set his feet and push the ball down the field. I mean, you're seeing a lot of 5-man rushes. You're seeing some delayed blitzes, and he doesn't have the time he needs to really push the ball down the field 15, 20 yards. The ball has to come out quick against this Denver defense.
Woodhead by his side, 3rd and 20 for Phillip Rivers. And laces one upfield, caught by Herndon. He's come off and played well since Floyd went down. Tackle made by Harris, 16-yard pickup, shy of the first.
There's got to be more of a sense of urgency, Kevin. We know they're going to go for it, obviously, but look at that. They're just, everyone's kind of jogging around. They got to hustle. The clock is running here now. You need 2 scores. Has to happen faster.
6 defensive backs, 4th and 4.
Oops.
Here comes Miller. There he goes, and just off the fingertips of the tight end, Ladarius Green, who caught one earlier in the game. So on downs, it goes back to Denver. And the Broncos have a player down in the secondary.
Well, somebody told Von Miller that the Chargers are down to their second tackle. They've got Burwell in there, so he says, let me jump over to the left side and rush against their right tackle.
Green couldn't get it in. David Bruton is down in the secondary for the Denver Broncos.
Well, he has played well today for the injured T.J. Ward.
A lot of tackles. Very disruptive. With a 2:06 remaining in the 4th, and Denver trying to get to 10 wins. Again, it'd be the 4th consecutive year with at least 10 in their win column. Von Miller has been terrific. A couple sacks today. Pressure right there. He is disruptive, and he's always got to be at the top of that priority list for all opposing offensive coaches. Like Frank Reich had to think about him, the offensive coordinator. And Frank, by the way, interviewed for the University of Maryland head coaching job this past week.
His alma mater.
Yep.
His 2 daughters went to University of Maryland, and said it just felt the interview went well, but he just the timing wasn't right. He loves working for Mike McCoy and loves working with Phillip Rivers, and so.
Well, the Chiefs and the Raiders in a good one up in the Bay Area. Let's go to James and Boomer.
Kansas City.
Well, JV, Derek Carr has thrown 3 interceptions today. Here's the 3rd one right here, a tip. That's Tyvon Branch. He's going to return it 38 yards for the touchdown. 34-20, Kansas City Chiefs went for the 2-point conversion and made it. They got tired of missing extra points.
3:14 left in regulation. Back to Kevin Harlan.
Former Raider Tyvon Branch.
That's right. You're paying attention, Kevin.
With the pick. Whenever
I thought you were talking about former Raider. I thought you were going to mention my name.
No, whenever Boomer talks.
Former Chief.
And whenever you talk, I listen.
How about Kansas City, the job that Andy Reid has done with that crew?
Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing. That'll be their 6th straight win. And
they lose 5 straight. They're 1-5.
Now if the season were to end today, they'd be in the playoffs.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and they're keeping, they're 3 games in back at Denver. It looks like Denver's going to win their 10th today. But they're making it interesting. With Osweiler at the 41 of San Diego, the 1st and 10. Hillman with the familiar Omaha right there, and a tackle made on the line with a gain of 3 by Ryan Carruthers. It's the 2-minute warning in San Diego on CBS. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and an investigation into a surprising new breed of confidential informants, followed by an all-star Grammy salute to Frank Sinatra. Only CBS 2nd and 7, Osweiler. Hillman. And stacked up, brought down with a gain of a yard on the play. Osweiler had won his first 2 starts in replacing the injured Peyton Manning. Looks like his 3rd win will be registered here this afternoon in San Diego.
But that 15 consecutive divisional road games, which is the longest streak in NFL history. How about what the Broncos have done since 2012? They've got the best divisional record. Now 20-2 in the division since 2012.
With a win today, it becomes number 15. Looks like our terrific crew has already given them that. You can see in the history where things rank. Brock Osweiler is offered a college basketball scholarship to Gonzaga as a freshman in high school. He was an incredibly talented athlete in Montana. There are not many of those in that terrific state of Montana. Nothing against the state, but he is certainly one who had made the high mark. 3rd and 6 with Fowler on the move, and Hillman with the call. And tackled around the ankles by Perriman with a gain of 1. The Panthers, the Saints. Here's James and Boomer.
A strong breeze leading the charge. A wild one in the dome, guys. This is a 24-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Coleman. Saints 15 unanswered points. Drew Brees 3 TD passes for the day. The Saints take the lead 31-27. 13 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter in that game. Back to Kevin Harlan.
Boy, it'd be fun to be doing that one, wouldn't it? Huh?
Yeah, how about that little shootout in the NFC South.
They run the clock here to about 1:10. This has not been a very scintillating game. It has been one with many, many injuries. Early on, Dontrell Inman with a neck injury off the field in a stretcher and cart. Brandon Flowers injured a knee. Then we had Trevathan go out for Denver. Ankle injury for Anderson, the running back. And then Vernon Davis had to leave because of concussion-like protocol on him. With a look at Rivers. Where would they be without Rivers? I mean, the positive attitude and what he means, just his exuberance, his love of the game. He is an incredibly gifted athlete, but he is just as gifted as a person.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, I think they've kept their confidence as a football team because of Phillip Rivers. I mean, I think it's easy to get down, and yet that would have affected the entire organization. He doesn't do that. He's been so upbeat and so positive despite their record.
Colquitt will punt. By the way, Denver only has one road game left. They're going to take on Denver, or rather take on Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. That's out of bounds.
That wasn't a very good punt now, was it?
So only one road game after today for the Broncos, who are going to go to 10-2. And now he's won a couple in a row. Here's next week on CBS. Round of regional games. Rich and I will be in New York for the Jets in Tennessee. Steelers will take on the Bengals. Later, the Raiders and the Broncos. Check local listings beginning with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer for the NFL Today. This is your home for Super Bowl 50. CBS historic Super Bowl 50 from Santa Clara. Rivers today 16-31, 193 through the air. Phillip aiming for Green with the coverage on the play. Look at Von Miller.
Look at all that talking going on.
He was fined last week for the hit on Tom Brady.
Well, look, Phillip Rivers done a little bit of talking. Von
There's no doubt. There is
like
no doubt it's back and forth. Absolutely.
Von Miller's going to just come around a little delay dog, and he puts his helmet right in his chest and takes him to the ground. And Phillip's going to say, hey, wait a minute. That's a good tackle by Von Miller.
So what are you doing, Von? You've got the game. You've got the win. I've taken my beating all day.
Oh, jeez.
And the Miller says, ooh.
Here it comes again.
2nd and 10. Outside to Woodhead. By Talib.
If I was playing quarterback at this point, I wouldn't be saying anything to Von Miller. You know what I mean? I'd say stuff like, "Hey, I'm going to be voting for you for the Pro Bowl."
Hey, I think you're the defensive player.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything to irritate him. I know that. I mean, he's been in my lap the whole day. My goodness, he's lined up on the right. He's lined up on the left. They haven't been able to block Von Miller off the edge. Not a lot of people have.
Not Miller's fault. 3rd down 6. Green, he was tackled on the play by Corey Nelson. Gain of 5. Clock continues to tick. San Diego's out of timeouts. Out of hope.
If I was going to talk, I'd talk to the perimeter guys. I never talked to the big guys that could hit. I could talk to the defensive backs.
Did you?
Yeah, but never, not a lot, but never to the big guys.
4th and 1. Rivers moving up.
Here it is.
Grabbed, and Shane Ray had him. And brings him down. Shane with his 3rd sack. Head over heels with excitement for Ray. Tumbling ahead to the 4th sack of the Bronco defense this afternoon.
Well, he's right there. I mean, just watch what he does to the right tackle. Bam. You're talking about a 330-pound tackle. Just walks him right back into the lap.
And he's a rookie for
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. So Denver takes over.
You got to love the competitive spirit of Phillip Rivers.
I know you do.
You know, it hasn't been pretty, Kevin. You know me. I'd be throwing my helmet right about now, but he's been very good. Look at these AFC West. Denver now 10-2. Kansas City looks like they're going to win. And
they're going to go to 7-5, and Denver's 10-2. The 10-win season for them.
180!
Fourth consecutive. And how about this? Doing it without Peyton Manning and a new coach to a team that was already established. Denver continues to roll. Osweiler today, 16 of 26, threw a touchdown, threw a pick, 166 through the air. Here is Rivers, number 17 and 17. That was a boyhood idol of Osweiler's growing up, was Rivers. I'm assuming the 17 is one because Phillip wears 17. And Osweiler as a starter, 3-0.
Yeah, really a nice job. Anytime you go on the road, Kevin, get a win in the division, and you do it with a backup quarterback, it's something to be proud of. And I just got to tip my hat to the job that this defense has done. When you come in to San Diego and hold Phillip Rivers and the Chargers at 3 points, wow.
Three consecutive wins for the Broncos to 10-2. Rich, great working with you tonight. It's Sinatra in 60 minutes. For Rich Gannon and Scott Kaplan, Kevin Harlan, good night from San Diego. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.